In this video, it all gets a bit clunky into the hairpin and this meta setup that I designed. I try it on a different car. Hello everyone and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video where, if you can see by the notes at the bottom, we're going on the stock setup first. And if you haven't guessed by the thumbnail and the title of this video, we're going to do a custom setup and a stock setup. Now, if you do enjoy this video, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and you did just see somebody not really going at the start there, so we've already gained a position. Now, I didn't know what the meta car was going to be this week. I jumped straight in the Renault Megane Trophy, and I can see the GT by Citroen is pretty much dominating these races. Even so, we're going to give this a whirl. Now, I'm going to put something out there. I'm going to use later on the Citroen setup I used at Autopolis in this video in terms of the Renault Megane Trophy, and we'll see how it performs. But stock setup first. Here we are in this race. It's quite a stat lobby as well. And up ahead, we've got some crashes going on there. Everybody sort of tripped over each other into the hairpin. Quite a common thing to happen there. We benefit there. We gain one place. A little bit damage on the front end of the car as well as we continue in towards this fast right-hander. What we can do, though, is we can go back and actually have a look exactly what happened here. So we go on board Abdullah then as we head in towards this left-hander. You see, just a slight tap there. Then we got Digit on the inside. It's just all a bit clumsy, really. And it's going to happen a lot this week, so do bear that in mind if you are racing here. The hairpin, there are going to be accidents at the hairpin. We'll see how many there are in this video, eh? Right, okay, lap number 2. We're behind the Spanish driver who's involved in that one. Goes for a defensive position there. We go on chase cam here to see what's going to happen as we try around the outside. Now, for me personally, the hairpin around the outside never works. Never, ever works as we jump back on board. So, it doesn't work here, and we look to carry on then. So, fast forward a little bit here, in towards the right we go. What can we do here? Spanish driver goes a little bit wide then. Looking to try and get on the inside here. Maybe get a run on the Spanish driver up towards the final corner on this circuit, which is a hairpin. It's just a bit more open with two 90-degree corners then. And we are in the slipstream here as we head up there then. Where can we go? We're going to send it down the inside. A little bit of movement there on the network then. Hard on the brakes here. And we slightly tap them up the rear. That's completely on me. Did feel like they broke a little bit early. But even so, I'm the car behind. I need to make sure I do brake in time. So apologies to the Spanish driver there. I did wait up for them, but they went in the pits instead. And I did lose a place to Abdullah then. We jump further up the field then. And we go on Shouty here as they go through the left-hander. They're going to get a bit of oversteer, and they're not going to be able to catch it as they go for a spin and meet that famous barrier there. Very common accident to happen there, but you get a bit of oversteer on the exit. Right, jumping further ahead then, we jump on board Arc in this race. Same lap, look for a move down the inside of the Spanish driver Gonzalez, and as we go into this right-hander, all looks a bit clumsy here. We've got, who's that? Luke Nadero there. Shout out to you. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. So continue on through here. Arc's just been run off the circuit. Accelerated a bit too much there. I don't think that's on anybody other than Arc, to be honest with you, as we continue on then. What we're going to do is jump back on board myself because it gets very scary very quickly. Arc continues to go towards the left-hand side, and I'm like, whoa! And I did have a penalty as well. Unfortunately, that ghosting did help me. That was for track limits at the chicane. Right, lap number 6 then. Here we go. So it's got a bit of time here. We've got the leaders coming out the pits, and we're going to go round the outside. Now, I want to talk about strategy here a little bit. I have put a pinned comment on the weekly race guide. Originally, I thought it would be a no tyre change strategy. However, I would highly recommend you do change your tyres. It seems that is the more better strategy to do, the meta strategy to do in terms of changing your tyres around the mid part of the race. So do it on lap 5 or lap 6. If you are stuck in traffic, lap 4 would even be okay, to be honest with you, to come in the pit. So I'm just putting that out there now that I got the strategy call wrong, and that is something to rectify if you want to now try that different tyre strategy or pit strategy in general. Right, the leader there, Marino, down the inside then. I'm going to get the job done. I wasn't going to fight that because I know that they're on a different strategy. We're in a different race. No point fighting it. Let them continue on and try and use their slipstream here to benefit. In this race, I'm going to go for the no tyre change on this race and the next one as well, because I want to see the difference between the stock setup and the custom setup as well, just to see what happens. Last time, the front tyres wore better, so maybe it works out better here. Maybe it doesn't. We will see then as we go through this right-hander. Slight tap between the two. Up ahead then. As we continue on, the Citroen definitely a slightly quicker car than this Megane Trophy. I have tried them both in time trial, to be honest with you. You'll notice my private account is on the leaderboards quite far up. And that's because I tried both of them on their own setups. I didn't want to replace the YouTube Tidgney ghost lap as Marino goes way too deep there into the hairpin. I'll get back onto what I was saying in a second. As Marino went way too deep, Abdullah gets that position back. Abdullah goes in the pits, and we're going to carry on. So we benefit from two positions. But I do want to replace that ghost of YouTube Tidgney, so you've got a ghost with a non-setup there that you can actually use on the leaderboard. Right, here we go then. So Marino's back in the same spot as last time. Deja vu here, of course. And Marino's going to go down the inside. No point going to chase cam here. We know what's going to happen. I'm not racing Marino here at all. Just let off a little bit here to let them know that I'm not fighting you. I want you to go, go, go. And I'll worry about people behind. Now, Vixus is in the same situation on the same race as Marino up ahead. It's also going to fight them either here. What we are going to do is go to that rear view camera. A lot of people say they like this camera. Glad you enjoy it. I do edit it in just to make sure you've got different perspectives here. And we can have a look at this GT by Citroen on the fresh tyres then as we go through that left-hander. They're going to give me a slight tap. But unfortunately, that right rear tyre just went over the curb there. And it spins them out. Really loses them the race there. A bit more patience there. Didn't have to go over the curb. They could have just overtook me on the straight because the Citroen is quicker in a straight line. Now, come in on lap 10 then, and I'm going to leave on the final lap. Not changing my tyres. I come out of the pits. I'm ahead of Abdullah, so that's worked out fairly well in the grand scheme of it. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. I believe that is GT Arc, just sat there chilling on the racing line for whatever reason. I have no idea why, but we are going to advance towards the end of the race then. So tyre wear, the front right really hit, but all the rest seem fairly okay, to be honest with you. What I want to try here is to really reduce the front tyre wear and put more of it on the rear, so that way the front end will grip and I'll get less understeer. That's the plan anyway, and that's what we're going to try here. I will show you this setup at the very end again. It's in a different video as well, but I will show you. So we've gone the custom setup now. Let's see what we can do here. Digit's gone to that GT by Citroen. We've just jumped ahead here to Oscar, who's just clipped that sausage and gone for a spin. It's another spinner here, but we really need to jump up ahead because there's always accidents at the hairpin on lap 1. Levitius is here. You can check out Levitius on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Twitch. I don't know if you got YouTube, mate. But once again, clumsy moves here by everybody. Spins happening there. Levitius, unfortunately, the victim out of all of that. Right, back into the race and the end of lap 1 here, and I felt this car was much quicker. In fact, I will tell you now, in time trial, this car was so much faster with this custom setup. It's at least 6 to 8 tenths quicker on this setup, at least. And there's more time there. I instantly beat my time that I did on my YouTube account, and I could continuously get that time and actually improve it. I'm not going to change my tyres again. I want to see how these tyres work out then. That's the whole point of this video. Let's see what happens. We advanced to lap number 4. We catch up to Levitius. He's having a bit of a torrid time, to be honest with you. But I was hoping not to catch traffic. And unfortunately, we've caught traffic here. As we go into this left-hander, Levitius just gets it slightly wrong there. Hits the sausage. My fault for hitting Levitius. But they're going to actually let me go there. I do appreciate that. And again, you can check them out on Twitch. So we've lost about 1.5 seconds on that lap. You can see on the right side, 1:37.6, much faster than the stock setup. As I say, this setup, honestly, it's so much faster having a setup to not having a setup. And that annoys me a little bit. It really does. I'll get back to that in a second, though. 3 cars coming out the pits here. If I was 1.5 seconds up the road, this would not be happening right now, and I would be about where Digit is, potentially jumping ahead of this pack. We do jump ahead one person, though, as we head in towards the chicane, and we're looking to slow it down then. Fights happening up ahead between Lewis and Digit, then Oscar's in the mix as well as we continue on through here. And what we're going to have to do is look behind us. That GT a bit quicker in a straight line. I said it earlier on. Once again, going to be quicker here then. So I'm going defensive here, but they go for that small little gap. Now, somebody mentioned about on my shorts about going for gaps like this. I will reply to your comment shortly. But you can see here, I got it slightly wrong when I went into Oscar. Quite a common thing to happen there where you're fighting another person. They take a wider line up ahead and you hit them. But it's my fault. I let Oscar go. Oscar, I think, retaliated to the wrong person there. But again, don't retaliate unless absolutely necessary. And I'm pretty much against it, as you know. Sean is about to try and overtake me here down in towards the hairpin. So I'll give him a bit of space on the inside. Unfortunately, for them, they get a little bit of oversteer. So we're going to keep that position as they reappear in that rear view. So here we go. End of lap 10 then. They catch up to me very quickly. They're obviously on fresh tyres. Speaking of tyres, though, look down below there. Yeah, the fronts are wearing a bit better. The rear is really torn up there. And in fact, I actually had to lower the brake bounce on this from 5 to 1 just to avoid that, avoid having an issue. So you can see there, it does help. We do cross the line there and finish the race. Now, I will say that it did help a little bit, but the rears wore too much at that point. The setup made it very, very pointy, which meant it lost all its understeer, to be honest with you. Lost a lot of it. It could go around corners very, very nicely. So it was a really nice setup to use. Now, I designed it for this car right here, the GT by Citroen. So I thought, do you know what? Let's jump in the meta car. Let's have a race with it. Let's probably change tyres, to be honest with you, and let's see what we can do. Once again, somebody else slowing up on the left-hand side. If you are enjoying this video, as always, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel. We are on that journey to 50k. We are getting ever closer. We are 3,000 off now. Oh, there's a special planned, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that special as well. So, We've made one position up already. We're in this GT by Citroen, which is very good exiting corners, by the way. It's got great stability on the exits of corners. It really does. Up ahead, the Megane Trophy there, struggling a little bit through the chicane. Flexi tries to go around the outside then, and here we go. We've got a nice, lovely run on both of them then. So what are we going to do? We could be smart and bump draft somebody, or we could be crazy and try and go 3 wide. So we're going to do that. We're going to go 3 wide here as we head in towards the hairpin, slowing it down. Is there going to be an accident into the hairpin? Not this time. We behave ourselves. The first time I've seen a hairpin with no crashes. So out of the 4 races I've done today, 1 of them has been safe. So 25% success rate there, folks. You've just seen it. And we didn't get a position. Nobody gained anything there as we continue on, other than some good racing and good fun as we go into this left-hander then, right behind the Austrian driver up ahead. Unfortunately, the Megane Trophy went over that curb. We saw the Citroen do it earlier on. You spin out very quickly if you do that. The car just rides it, and it spins up and spears you out. So we do get a position then. Happy days indeed. So what we're going to do now, though, is jump up ahead as we jump on board Key, because as Key goes through this hairpin, guess what's going to happen? Just over the curb, onto the grass, and goes a huge spin there and a crash. I believe I'm probably a curse for Key, because every time I'm in a race with Key, Key spins out or crashes. No idea what that is. Anyway, we're going to jump further on into lap 2 then, and I wanted to show you this just to show you that I didn't want to actually attack Flexi initially here. I wanted to catch up to the group up ahead. Big long train of cars here. I figured fighting too much, we're going to lose the back of them, and then the race is pretty much over. But I decided to wait and wait and wait. Now, I waited to lap number 4 then. We catch up to Willet Bros here, and I did feel I was a bit quicker than the cars ahead. You can see there 37s. That's with me waiting and trying to, well, slow myself down a little bit to make sure that we actually have an overall quicker time by not attacking too much. But it was at this point I was like, do you know what? I need to get past it. I need to really get involved. So I'm going to try and send it down the inside. Jump to chase cam here to have a look at it. Flexi sees that as we go through this left-hander then. And we continue on. Brilliant side-by-side action there. Tiny bit of time. Nothing major there. That's fair racing. Now, a lot of people try and move right very quickly there, but I can't. Look, there's an overlap. There is an overlap there. I can't move right. So they're getting the opportunity to use that slipstream. Number 37 there, even with the fighting. So we could definitely get into 36s here, no doubt, with this setup. And I will show you again at the end with this one as well. As we continue on towards the chicane, then here we go, still side by side as we go into it. It's like teammates fighting us with the same colour as well. As we go through the right-hander, though, they get it done there, does Flexi. Well played to you. Good defensive driving as we continue on then. And what we're going to do is look up in the distance, because there's somebody going to be going very slowly. Sort of a big side there for me, because I really want to get past Flexi at that point. I really did. And we've got Armando there going very slowly. Must have had an issue into the chicane. But we get that overtake done and dusted as we continue on through that. Still there on my inside. Slight tap on the exit. That was just a mistake. I can tell that was a mistake. All good, mate, as we continue on racing. Then lap number 6. Now, I was expecting Flexi to have gone in the pits at the end of lap 5, but didn't. It's like, oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens at the end of this lap. So if Flexi comes in this lap, I'm going to stay out. If Flexi stays out, I'm going to come in and I'm going to change my tyres. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if I stay out, I'm not changing my tyres. And I really did want to do it in this race because, you know, I want to try the meta car, the meta strategy. We're going to send it around the outside into the hairpin, which we saw earlier on is very hard to do. In fact, it's too hard to do. And Flexi defends that very nicely indeed. And I just really wanted to get by at this point. I really did. I wanted to really try and push on here as we go into the right-hander then. I could tell I had a bit more pace. I really could. As we then go into this left-hander. So we are struggling in terms of speed here. 38.9 on the last lap. Look how close we are to riding that curve then as we go down into the quadruple right-hander. I love this corner. It's a fantastic corner to really learn to drive on, to really nail what you're doing here as we continue on through then. And we're going to head up to the final hairpin, still in the slipstream. What we're going to do, though, is probably send it. That's my goal here. I make my intentions very clear on Flexi then as we head up here then, hard on the brakes. In we go. I'm sort of making a decision for us both then as we continue on through here. We get the job done as we continue on out of there. Flexi goes into the pits and I carry on, which means I'm not going to change my tyres in this one. We get to lap 9, though, rather than lap 10, and Marino is only a second behind me. So rather than cause issues for the leaders and slow myself down in any shape, way, or form, I decided to come in the pits 1 lap early. Something to think about if you are doing this no tyre change strategy. However, as I said earlier, I do recommend changing your tyres. We'll come out in P8 then. Flexi a bit behind there, so we have gained some positions. The overcut has definitely worked here then as we continue on in towards this lap. And you can see here by Jim behind me, Al's by Jim. Well, they've caught up to me very quickly, so I know they've changed their tyres. You can sort of judge this accordingly as we go through the left hand. Some people say, how do you know they've changed tyres? I can just tell And it's just one way of telling. It's just experience of racing some of these people. But as we go to this right-hander then, Jim very close to me, having to make themselves slow down a little bit more than normal because I do have lower grip. Look at my front tyres though. They're very much okay, if I'm honest with you. It's only the rear tyre which is slightly remotely an issue. So not too shabby in the grand scheme, but we still have some pace here then as we head up to the hairpin. Jim's going to send it down the inside then. And I think Jim's going to get that done. Yes, indeedy. Job done for Jim there as we continue on to the final lap. What we're going to do is actually go to the end of the final lap then. You can see the gap Jim got there. Just goes a bit deep into the final corner and gained, what, a second there. So it does show you that the tyre change is worth it. Oh, the Italian's just done a key and spun it out on the outside of the curb and to the inside. So we get P8 in the end. Happy days with P8. Now, these races have been fairly stacked today as well. I'm not used to these races being quite so stacked. People getting the last bit of DR before the official season, I imagine. But even so, I am going to show you the setup now. Now, do keep this in mind. This is a very extreme setup, and some people last time struggled when I showed you this. Now, yes, it's an extreme setup. So people who are at the very top of the game will use this and be able to go really fast, okay? So some people who struggle with oversteering a car will struggle with this. Now, I use the same setup in the Renault Megane Trophy as well as this GT by Citroen, okay? It's the exact same setup with +5 brake balance, just to clarify that as well. But in the race, I did change it in the Renault just due to tyre wear. You can see the anti-roll bar, it's very extreme. The compression's very extreme. The expansion's very extreme. Everything is extremely extreme, weirdly. So, yes, for some of you, this will not be quick, okay? Because you're going to be fighting oversteer constantly. However, it's quicker to use in the GT by Citroen than it is the Renault Megane Trophy. Just keep that in mind if you are going to use this setup. There are other setups out there and available. You can go on Discord as well. Big discussions on Discord in terms of setups and other things as well. Hopefully the video on Wednesday, if it does happen, that's been a big discussion on our Discord as well. Well, it just shows you we have conversations. We generally have a good discussion there, and it's always good fun. Unfortunately, folks, that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, though, do give it a like. Do subscribe to the channel. Stay in touch with all the latest content. There are 2 videos there to check out, including the weekly race guide. If you are struggling for lap time, it's right there for you. There are 2 companies there that I have links for. So GT Amiga, you can use the discount code Tidgney, or the Fanatec affiliate link where I do get a kickback from your purchases. That's going to be it for me, though. A big thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.